What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Abbott, with my co-host, Nigel Patterson.
Hello, everybody.
Hope everybody had a great New Year's and celebrating New Year's. A Happy New Year's to everybody. Hopefully, everybody came out of the New Year's weekend safe and feeling renewed, and hopefully coming out of it feeling like you guys are ready to take the next step in developing yourself and developing those around you. Because I think that's what New Year's is about for a lot of people. Nigel, what does New Year's as a whole mean to you?
It's a new year.
It's a new year.
Yeah. New year, new you.
Is that how you live by it?
I say that and then I don't do anything different. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is what it is.
You just keep it the same?
Yeah, I've been the same for the past 25 years, man. I ain't changed. Keep it real.
Could this be the year, Nigel?
No.
No?
Not feeling it.
Not even a chance.
Not feeling it.
Why not?
Yeah, I feel like that year will come. It's just not here yet. You know?
But why? See, with that mindset, though, how you ever gonna make the change?
Yeah, you're right. Gotta get the mental game right.
Exactly. Once your mental game is right, then you open the door for you to be able to make those changes and be able to take that next step. And
see, that's why I talk to you.
See, I like to help my people get to the next level. You know what I mean? Staying stagnant is not the way to go. You got to keep leveling up. Sort of like how they do in Pokemon.
So, Brendan, now that 2017 is over, what are some of your high points of 2017?
Some of my high points of 2017 were getting my promotion and going to another level in my personal business. Then getting a new car.
Just got a new car.
Yeah, I just got a new car.
Did we talk about that on the show though?
Yeah, we did talk about that on the show, I believe. What else? Increasing, pretty much developing more of a connected relationship with the people I know, and I guess attaining more awards and stuff like that. Even though those things are always cool, you know what I mean. But I do like the interpersonal aspect of things a lot more sometimes than material stuff. But hey, getting recognized and getting the awards.
Yeah, it's never a negative to get recognized.
Exactly. So I definitely
well, let's not say that.
I appreciate the awards and stuff that I've gotten over the past year, and I got a lot of new books too that I'm looking forward to reading. So that is definitely some of the highlights of my 2017.
Gotta stay reading.
Of course. How about you, Nigel? What are the highlights of your 2017?
Man, a lot of good stuff happened. Yeah.
Okay. And another highlight for me that I totally spaced out of my mind is the fact that the Rams, the same team I cover, making it to the playoffs.
Making it to the playoffs, not just making it to the playoffs.
Winning the NFC West crown.
There you go.
For the first time since in 14 years.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like a huge thing.
And piggybacking off that, the Browns finally did it. They finally went 0-16. It was a great year for the Browns. They got the number 1 pick. Phenomenal start to the building process.
Okay.
You know,
I've never heard anybody
It's been a long time coming.
You were celebrating your team in an opposite way than I think I was.
It's been a long time coming.
So you were happy they went 0-16.
Absolutely. Get the number 1 pick. If you're gonna be bad, be bad.
But if they would have won one game,
I don't care. That's just stupid. You won one game. You might as well go for the goal and go 0-16. What do we gain from winning that one game in 2016?
Pride?
Nothing.
Pride.
Stupidity. You still have the laughing stock of the league. They won one game.
But only a few teams have gone 0-16.
So one other team has gone 0-16.
The Detroit Lions in 2009.
Yes.
2008.
Now we're in company. We are in the history books rather than just winning a game. This team is infamous.
That's awful.
It's not awful. This team will be talked about.
Not in a good way though.
So what? It's better. It's all publicity is good publicity. Isn't that what they teach you in marketing in your when you're whatever class you took?
In some degree, in some walks of life, sometimes, but I don't know. In this case, I don't think this.
The thing is, it's not like they're a bad team. Don't get me wrong, but they're not hopeless.
Oh hell, man!
No, I'm saying I'm genuinely being serious here. They're not like oh my gosh, the Browns are like just so far away. Like just relocate them. Just retract them from the league. They're so bad. Yeah, they're so bad. Just get rid of them. Like there are pieces there. They need. Deshaun Kaiser is obviously not the question. As much as I like Deshaun Kaiser, I realize he's not the answer. We put ourselves in position for a great quarterback. to draft and potentially turn into a franchise quarterback, hopefully. But there are pieces on the defense that are there. Miles looked phenomenal. Miles Garrett, sorry. Looked phenomenal. And there's just various little things there. The defense was not bad this year. The defense was not atrocious. It was pretty average. And for a young defense, I'm okay with that. Josh Gordon made his return finally. We're all happy to see him. You need some receivers on the outside, yes. You need a quarterback, yes. But you know what? Those things are coming along. So I'm happy with the way the Browns are going.
I will say one thing about the Browns. I will say that
it takes hard to lose 16 games.
It's hard to lose 16 games.
It takes heart.
And it takes heart.
It does.
And they found a way to do it.
They did. They absolutely did.
And I would say they did play hard in like a lot of those games. So I do give them credit for that.
Absolutely.
But I mean that's just a tough way to just.
Yeah, it sucks in the end of the day. But I mean, if you're building steps to the right way, that's different than
just flat out
just being awful for just to be awful.
Yeah, I mean that is something that I guess we'll tie some of that Browns talk into one of our future topics we're going to get into on tonight's show. Yeah. But before we get into breaking down everything, remember y'all to follow and subscribe to the KBR Sports Podcast on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, don't forget that you can follow the KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports, where the live links and show topics are tweeted prior to every single show. Don't forget you can also comment, like, share the KBR Sports Podcast in order to show your support and feedback for the show, and so that we can read your comments and feedback live during the show. All right, y'all. So a lot of the topics we're going to touch on today are NFL related. They're going to be college football related, and one of them being the NFL playoffs. So the NFL playoffs being one of the biggest stories coming out of the weekend, and a lot of the NFL playoff seedings finally getting cemented. I think that it would be it's an important thing for us to kind of give you guys our opinions on the college football, or not the college football playoff seeding, but the NFL playoff seedings, and let you all know how we feel about them. So, okay, so as it pans out right now in the NFC, okay, so in the NFC you're gonna have the Saints, who are the 4 seed, hosting the Carolina Panthers, who are the 5th seed. Then you're gonna have the Los Angeles Rams, who are the 3 seed, hosting the Atlanta Falcons, who are the 6th seed. Yep. And then the Philadelphia Eagles and Minnesota Vikings have a bye out of that, with the Eagles being the 1 seed. So the Eagles will play the winner out of New Orleans or the Carolina game, and then the Minnesota will play the winner out of the Rams and Falcons game. Then on the AFC side of the bracket, you got the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Tennessee Titans, and New England Patriots having a first round bye and playing whoever the winner would be out of that game or out of that matchup. And then the last 2 matchups, you would have the Jacksonville Jaguars facing off against the Buffalo Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers playing whoever the winner is out of that bunch. So Nigel, what do you think of the playoff seedings so far, or our playoff seedings, and the teams that did make it and the teams that didn't make it? What do you think about the seedings so far?
Honestly, I think there's no, outside of one matchup, I'm genuinely interested in the other 3. The one matchup being the Jaguars versus the Bills. I don't think that game's going to be.
You're not interested in that one at all?
No, I really am not. I think the Jazz are going to watch them. I say that and watch them lose. But the Titans and the Chiefs, I mean, kind of hit and miss coming into the end of the season. Mm-hmm. They lose to the Jets, beat the Raiders, beat the Chargers, beat the Dolphins, but then beat the Broncos. I mean, I say high in the cold, but I mean, they beat some average teams, I think it's fair to say. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, while the Titans came in, also, I mean, beat the Texans, not really impressive. Lost to the Cardinals, lost to the 49ers, lost to the Rams, barely beat the Jags. So both those teams are middle of the road pretty much at this point. Mm-hmm. So I think that matchup, and the Panthers and Saints, are probably the 2 most interesting matchups to me in this playoff coming up.
I think Panthers and Saints is very interesting, and I think that
which Cam Newton will play
exactly. And that's the biggest question, because I think in my estimation, I think that the Panthers are one of the biggest threats in the NFC, depending on which Cam Newton you get.
You see what your boy Chris Carter said?
No, what did he say
about Cam Newton?
No,
I'll talk about it later.
Okay. Well, what he said that in terms of what Cam Newton you get, I feel like when Cam Newton plays at his ceiling, the Panthers are the best team in the NFC. But because
they're better than the Rams.
When he plays at his best, yes.
Okay.
When he's throwing the ball accurately, still being a running threat, and they still have that defense, they're literally unstoppable because then you can't guard them on the ground. Then you can't. There's no deficiencies in terms of you rather have them throw than run, because if they're doing both on all cylinders, you're losing in every single aspect. And if their defense is still holding you at the end of the day, you're just going to struggle to have any kind of chance to match up with that team. So that's why I feel like it's one of those things that with how good those guys are, the Panthers have such a high ceiling, but it all depends on the kind of Cam Newton that you get. Now, in terms of the Rams and Atlanta Falcons matchup, I think the Rams, they won out in this one because by them getting the 4, I didn't feel like Carolina was honestly a good matchup for the Rams. I didn't like the matchup for the Rams. I felt like it was a dangerous matchup for them. Even though Atlanta has that talent where they can kind of like explode on offense.
Yeah, they can. I mean, look at their last couple games. I mean, they put up 9 against the Vikings, 20 against the Saints. How much did they put against the Saints second time? 13 against the Saints, and then 22 against the Panthers yesterday. I mean, those aren't exploding numbers. I mean, the last time they went off was 34 against the Bucks, and that was over a month ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, that explosion just hasn't kind of been there for them.
And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that Matt Ryan has not been the MVP guy that everybody remembered him being a whole year ago. And he hasn't been able to get revitalize himself in that manner, that he's been able to uplift their offense and play at that umpteenth degree that they were at a year ago, because they were the number one offense a year ago, similar to this Rams offense this year. Right. But now that you see guys like Matt LaFleur having left, Kyle Shanahan having left, the offense looks entirely different under Steve Sarkisian. Yeah. So I feel like with in Atlanta's case, it's one of those things that.
I don't think we captured how much Matt Ryan has fell off from last year. 38 touchdowns, 7 picks last year.
Yeah.
20 touchdowns, 12 picks this year.
That's just such a regression.
Almost half of his touchdowns.
That's crazy. Like, his touchdowns have literally gone been divided exactly.
Passer rating last year 117. This year 91.
That's wild.
Just a complete drop off.
Yeah, like that's just, and it's one of those things that when you see a player fall from those kind of heights to these kind of depths, you kind of just sit there and wonder, can you trust him in a high vulture situation, like going to Los Angeles and playing this Rams team that's playing at a high level that they're
all year.
Yeah, it's been consistent all season. The only time they've had their dips is when they played under like the marquee defensive teams in the league.
They put up, there was a 35-43 shootout against
Philadelphia.
They did get won by the
Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean, outside of that,
that's a top.
That's like you said, top defense.
Yeah,
it's like outside of that, they really have shown up for almost every other game.
And that's the thing. Like that's why, on a talent perspective, I feel like the two teams do match up similarly. But the Rams have
just been so more consistent.
Yeah, the Rams have just been so much more consistent. Yeah. So I feel like that's where I give them the boot. The edge at.
That's where I like that game. I'm like, I unless the Falcons come out and just put up just big numbers, and Matt Ryan is putting up huge numbers. I really don't see it being a game.
Really?
Like, I don't see a situation where like I'm like, I trust the Falcons to win this game.
No, okay, so now if we look at, like, we're projecting to the next round, which teams do you think are better matchups for the team waiting for them with the first round buys? Like, who's a better matchup for the Eagles? Is it the Saints?
Well, see, that gets into the question. Are you trusting the Eagles still?
No, I don't. Honestly don't trust the Eagles the same way I did when Carson Wentz was playing. I don't believe in Nick Foles to that degree. The Eagles have not looked like the same Eagles team since Carson Wentz went down.
Nick Foles looked atrocious, to be honest.
Yeah, Nick Foles hasn't looked that good. I don't think he had that one game when he threw 4 touchdowns, and I think they won that game. But then he had the next game, the game against the Giants when he threw 4 touchdowns, I believe. And then they had to make a comeback win against the Giants, and I think the next week they put up 19. And I don't remember who they played, but they had barely just won. So it wasn't like they were playing. They were playing like gangbusters coming into.
No, they played the Raiders.
They played the Raiders.
He put up 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 163 yards,
and that's just not great.
And then he played very shortly against the Cowboys, where he threw a pick. That was pretty much it.
And see, it's like you're not playing at your optimum level coming into the playoffs.
So between the Saints and the Panthers, I mean, I take either of them over.
I
take either of them over Philly.
So pretty much whoever plays the Philly is a buy-in to get to the next level. To get to the NFC Championship.
See, the thing is, if their defense plays well enough, I can see them beating the Saints. if their defense plays well enough and Cam still shows up, I still trust the Panthers to win that game, probably.
Really? So you think the Panthers are a better matchup than the Saints?
I would probably say they are.
Man. What about Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram in the backfield? That running attack is deadly for the Saints.
It is.
And then the fact that you still have Drew Brees back there.
You still do have Drew Brees.
He hasn't looked like Drew Brees,
but he's still Drew Brees.
Yeah, he's still Drew Brees. So it's like, at what point?
I mean, number one rush defense.
The Eagles do.
Yeah.
But then you have Drew Brees.
You do have Drew Brees.
So then who would you trust more, Drew Brees or Cam Newton?
Drew Brees.
That's
why I say it would have to be Cam at his peak, because then you get the running threat and the throwing threat.
But I like the Panthers defense way more than I like the Saints.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing. That's why I said even if like Cam plays at his best, if Cam plays at his worst, the defense still is there to keep them in the game.
Yeah, because the only reason why now I have trepidation about the Saints is because their defense suffered injuries.
Yeah. See and that's the thing. It's just like I don't trust their defense to be like
to be able to carry them.
Like Nick Foles can't have a good game against them.
Yeah,
because of the injuries. It's like even Nick Foles can't play. Like no matter what, I don't think he's gonna play well against the Panthers. The Rams versus the Vikings, I think is a better matchup. So,
I agree. Because they've already played once this season.
They both played the Vikings this year, I believe.
The Falcons and the Rams.
Yeah, the Vikings. They put 9 points.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
the Rams didn't play them.
They didn't play them much better either.
But I still think the Rams are just more consistent. I just trust them more.
And I think the Rams have more confidence in themselves playing Minnesota this go round.
Yeah, I think we both. I think I might have taken the jump and said I think the Rams are going to the Super Bowl this year. I said that way. I think I said that 2 games.
You said that
2 weeks in the season or something like that. Still riding that train. Kansas City and the Titans. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're gonna beat the Patriots.
Really?
I don't. I really don't. Like,
there's no foreseeable way that
the Chiefs probably have the better chance. To be honest.
I agree.
But
that one I can't. I would try to make a case for Tennessee, but then I know I'm lying to myself.
Yeah, I could absolutely say, the Chiefs, the Titans do this and this well, but I mean,
the Chiefs do all the same exact things.
I just don't think that they're to beat the Patriots right now. And the last one, Jags and I'm gonna skip the Bills. The Jags versus the Steelers. I'm being honest here. I'm not Jags versus the Jags and Bills. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I think the Jags. No, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. I don't feel that confident.
You didn't believe it?
I don't feel that confident.
It didn't hit you in the soul?
Nah, not the way the Rams did.
Really?
I'm half a step away from saying.
I think it's interesting.
I'm a half step away from saying the Jags will win the Super Bowl. I'm a half step away.
Whoa!
I'm a half step away from it.
Wow!
I'm that close.
Your defense, you like the defense that much? Leonard Fournette.
I'm that close to saying it.
Blake Bortles is an anomaly, man.
He's Blake Bortles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
that's my half step. If he was Case Keenum, I'd be like, you know what? Jags win the Super Bowl, no problems.
If he was Alex Smith,
go franchise quarterback going to the Super Bowl.
So
it's just Blake Bortles.
It's just Blake Bortles.
If Blake, hold on a second, I want to see how he played the last couple because he had that one great game that
sucked. Last year he had 2 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
I mean that's not that's not the worst of all time.
I mean it's not a great game.
All right, so hold on a second. He threw 2 touchdowns to 3 picks against the 49ers though. Hot 49ers team.
I mean,
and he threw 2 picks against the Titans and no touchdowns.
I mean,
he's the only reason I'm like I just can't do it.
With good reason. I mean, it's not a bad reason. That if he
was playing average, I'd be like, Blake Bortles, Jaguars, Super Bowl. I'm still gonna put the Patriots.
I think our lists fall in line for the most part. I think our lists do agree with one another. Jackson. I don't trust them enough.
Do you think that you don't think he'll have a Joe Flacco moment?
No, not at all. Not whatsoever.
He'll just catch fire and just throwing bombs left and right.
Look at here, man. No. Now you got me chopped. There's no way. I don't believe it. Like their defense is so good. Maybe if they just ran the ball and pounded it down the Steelers' throat and whoever they played throat. maybe they have a chance that way because their defensive backs are so good in A.J. Bouye and Jalen Ramsey and the other parts of that secondary and on their line. But the problem is all these other teams they're playing offensively have systems and they have all these weapons. It's like, how can you... Now, the Steelers, it's very important that they get Antonio Brown back. This is a prediction. I'm assuming they have Antonio Brown back. If they don't have Antonio Brown back, now that can change things. That can change things a bit for me because Antonio Brown's such a huge part of that offense. Even though Juju Smith-Schuster does step up in the moments that they've needed him to step up in, but I think with the Antonio Brown back, the Steelers are still the better team to me, and they're solid enough on defense that they can. I don't think Jacksonville's a team that's like super difficult to limit, but in terms of just Leonard Fournette being that physical back and them having that downhill ground and pound game, I think that they can rely on their defense enough. I mean, Big Ben threw 5 picks against them early in the year, which is an area of concern. Even though I don't think he would do that again. No. Yeah, I don't think he would do that again. So, it's one of those things that I definitely feel like I'm leaning more towards the Steelers, but it all depends on Antonio Brown's health. But obviously, I have the Patriots going again. Once again, I believe that. I just learned that you don't bet against the Patriots.
You just don't bet against Tom Brady and the Patriots. You just can't. There's times I'm like, you know what, this team probably could beat the Patriots. I'm just like, nah. I still don't think that. Even I looked at their defense. Their defense is atrocious, by the way. And I'm just like, yeah, still going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man.
I just can't. It's like LeBron in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. Like, Celtics number 1 in the conference. That's cool. Yep. So picking LeBron and the Cavaliers go to the finals.
Yep. You just don't have until somebody proves it to you.
Until he retires, I'm just like, yeah.
Full on retirement.
Nah, but I mean, as long as that system is in place and they have the talent. I'm just like,
there's no reason to pick somebody else
if they prove it themselves over and over again.
Because every time I feel like a team like the Steelers or a team like the Chiefs comes out guns blazing and beat them in the regular season or something, and they look all nice, but then it comes half time and they just can't beat them.
Nah, you're just like, nope, just not gonna happen.
Yeah, it just never makes sense to me. But all right, y'all, that's gonna be it for our first segment of the night. When we come back from the break, we're gonna be talking about all the NFL head coaching firings that happened over the weekend as a result of a lot of teams that felt like they had insufficient seasons. So we'll get into that and who deserved to get fired the most and which coaching fire was the worst coaching fire. We'll be back. Remember to refresh the page after the live link disappears after 50 to 60 seconds. It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day. Stay tuned.
We did a show, 2